Greetings to you all and welcome to the Red Alert 2 Yuri's Revenge 1 Unit Challenge. This time we'll be limiting ourselves to only building one singular Boris. The rules are simple. Our opponent is set to brutal difficulty, base defences can be built but only used for defence, or miners can be built but only through the purchasing of refineries. We play on official tournament map A for 2 players, because it's theoretically the fairest, and other than that, the only unit we can ever build is one single Boris. I normally play on speed 4. Right, that means I need to be one of the Soviet factions, and it honestly doesn't matter which one I pick, right? Yes, absolutely no difference whatsoever. Let's be Russia, just to role play a bit. I'll go up against any opponent, I don't care, bring it on.
New construction options.
One of the interesting things about Yuri's Revenge is that the hero units are actually unique now. So in the base game of Red Alert 2, what happens was we had Tanya's and Yuri's as our 2 heroic units, but you could build as many of them as you wanted. Why you could have 10 Tanyas on the field at once, I don't know, but you could. In order to make the heroic units a little more in keeping with the world, you can now only have one at a time of each of the heroic units. If it dies, you can retrain it, which also doesn't make much sense. But this is a game with time travel, so let's just write off any inconsistency with that, shall we? Well, what this means is I can only train one Boris, but understandably, Boris is a lot stronger than a Yuri or a Tanya from the original Red Alert 2.
New construction options.
They did make the heroes stronger to compensate. I'm going to call them heroes.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here.
And if you're curious, in this game, the 3 hero units are Boris, a new and improved Tanya. It's Tanya, again, but she's got some new abilities now, so it makes her better. You can only have one of her. And a Yuri Prime, who's like a Yuri clone, but better. You'll see why later.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
How much base defense do we want?
Building.
Hopefully not too much. I want to go fast here.
Construction complete. Building.
And of course, one of the interesting things about this is
Building.
I can only build one Boris. And Boris isn't particularly expensive. He costs a bit, but he's not crazy expensive.
Construction
So I'm not going to need much money.
Building.
Because once I built Boris, everything else just goes on base defense. And power plants, I suppose. So I'm going to stick with one harvester. And just hope that I don't spend so much that I slow down my Boris production. I want the fastest possible Boris, which I'm probably going to miss because I built too much base defense. But, you know, it is what it is.
Construction complete. Building. New construction options. Construction complete.
Not going to place my Tesla coil. I'm going to wait to see if I get attacked, and when I get attacked, I'll place it where it's needed. Otherwise, I'm going to need to build 2. And we're all about cutting corners over here.
New rally point established.
Faster, man, faster. You could have reversed in, couldn't you? If only we had the technology.
Construction complete.
Wait a second.
New construction
A thought
options.
occurs.
Training.
I don't need this anymore.
Structure sold.
Moving out.
You can go hide up there.
Moving out.
That was a good bit of improv, I like that.
Ready.
Biplane is also very important for this. So Boris's abilities, he has 2 of them. He has a rifle, I guess we'll call it. Probably because that's what it is.
Unit ready.
He can use as his main weapon. It kills infantry in 1 shot, but it also is pretty good against anything that's lightly armoured. I'm not a very good shot with the spy plane, it seems. Boris is surprisingly good against lightly armoured opponents. You'd think his firing with his gun would be similar to a conscript, but it's not. It's very strong. It's more like a seal.
Russia's fate is with me. Russia's fate is with me.
But then against buildings, he has another trick up his sleeve.
On the MiGs.
He can bring on the MiGs. And then the MiGs will be on the way. MiGs fly in from off-screen, usually from behind Boris, so they don't fly immediately over enemies' anti-air defenses. And they will bomb the target he's painted.
Technology stolen.
Like so. Now the MiGs
Bring on the MiGs.
are rather resilient.
Who's next?
It takes a lot to kill a MiG, and if a MiG dies, you don't really care.
Building.
If it dies before it manages
Light them up.
to deliver its payload, then you care. Because that's just sad.
Russia's fate is with
But if it delivers its payload, and then it dies, it doesn't matter.
Don't mess.
Because when we bring in the MiGs...
Bring on the MiGs. On the way. Who's next? Bring on the MiGs.
Wow, you survived.
Construction complete.
Touch me. Bring on the MiGs.
When we bring on the MiGs, it will just replenish any MiGs that we're missing anyway. So it's not a big deal.
Unit promoted.
On the MiGs.
Spy plane ready.
Promotions aren't going to do very much for me here, because MiGs one-shot buildings anyway.
Force shield ready.
Bring on the MiGs. Don't mess with me.
You may wonder why I keep cancelling my MiG in order to kill.
Bring on
It doesn't matter. My two MiGs are flying out to me. And if I cancel in order to shoot, the MiGs, they'll turn away, but when I retarget, they'll turn back. And there's another good example for you. Yes, we lost the MiG, but do I care? Not at all. You can see just how good Boris is against even a heavily armored vehicle. He is not bad. I am having problems though. I haven't made anywhere near the level of progress I need to have made by now. I still can't see the main target. I need to destroy that so I can stand somewhere close.
Bring on the MiGs.
Okay, I'll take the war factory. That's not a bad one. Probably going to aim here soon as well. There's just so much money tied up there.
Don't mess with me. Bring on the MiGs. Bring on the MiGs. I'll point out the target.
Hopefully when this
Unit promoted.
guy's fully promoted, he can start one-shotting those. I think they normally die in one shot, but they're surviving because of their promotion.
Comrade General. Oh, you can't
There we go.
touch me.
The promotion, of course, being caused by an enemy spy that managed to infiltrate my barracks.
Don't mess with me.
Makes one-shot any building, even the construction yard.
Our base is under attack.
And it's not to do with their rank either. They're not one-shotting it because he's heroic. No, that's just what they do. They just one-shot things. And yeah, he just gunned down a tank. Boris is a serious
Spy
unit.
plane ready.
If you control Boris well, which is
Select
difficult for me,
target.
then he is very good.
Boris here. Eat well. Don't mess with me. Die, traitors.
What do you mean, die, traitorous dog? They're literally your opponents. How are they traitorous? Oh, interesting. He gets more MiGs now that he's heroic. I never knew that. He gets 4 MiGs instead of 2. It's irrelevant, because 1 MiG shot will kill anything, I'm pretty sure. But whatever, it's a nice touch. I suppose that if I had snuck around to the back and was calling in airstrikes from here, then maybe now a few of my MiGs would get through the anti-air defenses. Maybe it would make a difference.
You can't touch me.
I think 1 MiG. Missile, bomb,
Let's light them up.
payload, destroys a construction yard. Maybe it's 2. You can certainly do it in 1 bombing run.
Me. Die, traitors, dogs.
We'll find out. No, it was 2.
You can't touch me.
I have to wait for these MiGs to leave before I can ask them to come back.
Don't mess with me.
They're awkward like that. But Boris is no joke, okay? Seriously,
Who's next?
he's a good unit. As is common for a lot of people, his one weakness is the wall. Don't believe he can call a MiG destroy a wall.
Ready.
We may try it just for fun.
Target.
Don't mess with me. Who is there? You can
One thing you might be thinking, and I'll just show you that it doesn't work.
is nothing.
Only one of those MiGs delivered their payload. So you're probably thinking, well, surely that means you've got 3 MiGs. I haven't done anything. Can't they bomb something? No, they can't.
This will be easy.
It's a bit strange, but once the target has been designated, the MiGs...
Russia's fate is with me.
But it's very odd, because when the MiGs are flying out, you can change the target.
Fools, you can't touch me.
But it's almost as if as soon as one MiG has dropped a missile, that's it. It's game over. No changes allowed anymore.
Fools, you can't touch me.
Either that building dies or it doesn't, and then the MiGs are going home. With very precise timing, maybe you could do something, but I don't know about it. You want to stop training these guys, it's not the answer.
There's nothing I cannot do. Fools, you can't touch me.
The only downside to Boris is that
With me.
I can't use my gun against the buildings. I'd like to, but I can't. I'm not allowed.
Fools, you can't touch me.
I can shoot through the buildings, but I can't even force fire upon the buildings. It just calls out the MiGs.
Boris agrees. Eat lead. Airstrike confirmed.
So things end up taking time.
Who is next?
Ore miner under attack.
Just to be clear, this will solo Boris. Either of these. He has no way of shooting up.
Eat lead. This will be easy. Russia's fate is with me.
Spy
I
plane
have
ready.
important mission. Boris agrees.
Select target.
Boris.
Gotta send the spy plane next to this
Fate is with me.
Rocketeer. Hopefully it
Important mission.
encourages him to go downwards to shoot the spy plane.
There's nothing I cannot do. This will be easy.
It shouldn't really matter. Once I've bombed this, it's game over anyway.
Don't mess with me. This will
And
be
didn't work.
easy. Eat lead. Airstrike confirmed.
But that should be the end of the mission. The opponent has no moves left. This is their last producing structure. Nice and simple. Start bombing stuff for the sake of it. Observe.
Player defeated.
There you go, new tactic I've got when I know the enemy is going to sell and give up. I don't have a name. Curses. That's gonna do it for another one of the Yuri's Revenge 1 unit challenge. Next time we're gonna be tackling... Ooh, the choices. I'm gonna go for... let's keep going with the hero units. I'm gonna go for Yuri Prime. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall. See you then.